everyone to a new episode at AI Chronicles. I would love to say that we are at this very weird moment with AI where agents look insanely powerful on the surface, but under the hood, things are still pretty messy. And that's exactly what I wanted to get into today. So I'm here with Robert Scoble, and I think you have probably come across his takes on X, where he has been tracking these shifts in real time and calling things pretty directly. Robert, I really appreciate you taking the time to be here.
Thanks.
Over to you for if you could briefly introduce yourself.
Yeah, I was Apple's first child labor back in 1978, and that led to a whole life of studying new things and people who build them, and playing with toys like these Vitur glasses that are, there's computers in them that give you a big screen in front of you, or the Apple Vision Pro, or uh, wrote 8 books about technology, about futures that are hitting us. And I've launched many, many companies because I had a famous blog in starting in 2000. Back then it was a different world. There was no TechCrunch, there was no YouTube, there was no Twitter, there was no Facebook, there was no Product Hunt. And so I had a blog that covered Silicon Valley innovation back then. And I had really one of the only places for entrepreneurs to talk about the new things that they were creating. Now there's thousands of people that do the same thing on all the platforms. And so I'm a small fish in a big ocean now. Back then I was a big fish in a little tiny pond. But I've been doing this a while and studying the future, and on X, I've built lists of 50,000 people in the tech industry and 8,300 companies to study what's going on in real time. There's models shipping right now that are,
Oh God, yeah,
every
back
day,
to
every
back,
day there's
every
something,
single day. Yep.
you know. Oh yeah, so it gives me a certain broad perspective. I'm not very deep. My friend Adrian Kaler wrote the computer vision system that became the for the car at Stanford that became the Waymo car, and he built part of the Magic Leap glasses, and he built a humanoid robot company. When you talk to him, he can write a math equation on the whiteboard for how an autonomous car goes through an intersection. That's not me. Um, but I have a much broader view than he does on the industry because I talk to so many companies and visit so many companies here in Silicon Valley and other places. So, and then I do a lot of consumer research as well, understanding how people adopt new things. You know.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, now this question makes a lot more sense for me to ask you. What is your most, or rather, I would say, what's the most exciting part of your work right now? You do a
Oh,
lot of
right
things, so
now.
I'm not sure how to pick.
I'm tomorrow I'm interviewing a company that's doing a brain computer interface. A hat that you put on has 30,000 sensors in it, and it listens to how you think, and it can bring a new kind of computing to us. All right. And there's the neural links and other things. Um, that's probably the most bleeding. If I was going to do a ninth book, I probably would do it on brain computer interfaces because I think 10 years from now, a lot of us have devices on our heads or hands that listen to our nervous system and interact with our robots that we're coming. But there's a whole range of things. I mean, robotics is white hot right now,
Hmm.
and at least in the Valley, people are trying to build robotic companies to do various things. I just visited one that's building a robot to tear off old chips and tear apart old boards to get the materials out of them, up to, the Teslas who are doing humanoid robots and the
Mm-hmm.
biggers. And then, augmented reality has always had me hot and bothered. I wrote 2 books on spatial computing. So, and that's a white hot area with the world models that are shipping literally by the minute.
Mm-hmm.
China just shipped another one last night, and World Labs is out there, and um, that's
Well,
really an amazing field of innovation. And yeah, so augmented reality or virtual reality, robots, AI, brain computer interfaces. And I just interviewed the founder of Eigen Labs, which is
mm-hmm.
a Web3 company using blockchain technology to give AI agents a wallet and be able to build businesses on their own, which is a mind blowing thing. Have a little AI agent running things. So
So
it's a
yeah,
lot.
that's a
Lots
lot.
going on.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep up. I
Yeah,
built a whole website that reads 40,000 posts a day on X, and
nice.
it's
Oh
called
yeah, I saw that. It's a very good place to see. Like, just scroll through and you get all the news in hand. That's really great.
well,
Now,
a lot of it. Maybe it misses a few things, but
uh, it covers a
with
lot.
it grabs the best stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it tells you like the AI papers that are being shared. It's called
Mm-hmm.
alignednews.com/AI. Um, and it reads 40,000 posts. Nobody can read 40,000. I've
No.
tried. Believe me, I have screens. I have X Pro running with all my lists. I have 63 lists from crypto to spatial computing to neuroscientists to robotics, right? And you could try to watch that, but it goes so fast. Even just watching 10 lists, a lot of times there's 8 tweets or 8 posts a second, right?
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
human mind can't keep up with that.
Yeah. No.
AI can read it all
Yep.
in, a few minutes.
Yep. So, I'm curious. So you've seen like multiple tech waves up close, from mobile to social to now this exploding AI.
Yeah.
Where do you think AI agents actually are today versus where people think they are?
I'm using a new one that's coming out in a couple weeks called Ninja AI.
Okay.
And it, it's groups of agents. So, like, think about running a company. You have a CEO, you have a marketing director, you have a finance director, you have, a manufacturing director, an ops person, right? You have a
Mhm.
technical person, a CTO, right? And that's your
Yep.
team. Well, they built agents like that. And so you talk to your agents on Slack, your team, and your team builds things, right? Which is real interesting. But the team can work longer, right? A year ago, it was hard to get them to work for a few minutes. Now they can work for a month, right? And work autonomously, work on their own, come up with their own business plans, their own product, you know, their own marketing plan, their own design. They can evolve design. They can listen to customers and change things. So that working longer is one. Anthropic Cloud just shipped this morning the new model, and that's one of the things that they said they do now. Second, it has a much better memory than they used to have. It
Mm,
remembers what you told it. It remembers what it learned as it
right.
tries to do things. It makes a mistake. It learns, and it puts that in the memory. And three, it's working in teams with agents, teams with humans, all working together in a Slack channel. So human can talk to the team of agents and just tell them, hey, that website needs a new design,
Yeah.
and the agents go and work on it and come back. Hey, here's our new design. What do you think? Um, and what else is going on in AI? And they're evolving. They learn.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
they get smarter, which is a real shift because when we first got Chat GPT, it was like concrete.
Hmm.
They built the model, and the model was what you got. The answers were what you get. Now it's more like, we give you a 16-year-old smart kid, and you got to teach it. You got to take it to
Mm,
Stanford. You got to teach it physics, or you got to teach it chemistry, or you got to teach it economics, or you got to teach it about your little business, right? Your dentist business or your bar, and you got to raise them and teach them and get them to be useful, right? And that's a different shift, where now I'm working with groups of agents that are like this. So, it's like a team that's sort of fresh and not very smart at certain things. And you got to teach them. And then they get better and better and better. And they learn fast. The agent that built my website, I gave it my book. It read it in 2 minutes,
oh my
and,
God.
and it
Wow.
leveled up, right? It got better just
Nice.
because of that, because it understood who I was. It understood the market I care about, right? And it learned something that it didn't have access to, and it
Mhm.
leveled up. It got better. And now we have deeper conversations because it knows what's in my book and
Mhm.
what I cared
More
about.
context. Yep.
Yeah, more
It's
context. So this is a
awesome.
new world, and most people haven't even normies, they don't know any of this.
Nope.
They're using maybe a chat GPT to answer a few
Yep.
questions a day. They don't think about, oh, I gotta raise my agent and teach it and take it to Stanford and
Probably they're still like 2, 3 years behind to get there. And by the time they will catch up, we'll have something totally different. Who knows?
or they'll get some system that's really easy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
And just is there, and because my agents are watching the 50,000 people of the world's smartest people on X, and those systems are doing that, and so they're just getting smarter and smarter, and they're getting easier. Already, you can get apps on your phone like Poke, which hook up to your email and your messaging and watch your email and your calendar and answer questions. And there's a whole bunch of them like Wabi on your phone. And so the consumers are going to get something like that that's has all the rough edges taken off and is easier to use and
Mhm.
not so nerdy. But the nerds are they're building open claws or Hermes
Oh, yeah.
servers and going to
Yeah.
town with it. Some of my friends have stacks of Mac Minis, so each with a agent, and then they have another Mac Mini that's running all the Mac Minis, right?
I mean, honestly, like at the company I work, all 400 of us have a Mac Mini now. We are
That's
all
fancy.
very pro AI. Our CEO, when the OpenClaw came out, he ordered all of us a Mac Mini. We have our OpenClaw
That's a
doing
smart
stuff for us.
boss.
Exact. Yeah. Yeah. He's pretty fantastic. So, yeah, we have like I have my own DevRel bot running, and then we have so many other bots just internally helping us be more and more productive, more things to do. But yeah,
Yeah.
OpenClaw is
How much of your life have you automated yet? And do you trust it to answer your email or write
no,
your
still no.
code?
There's still
No,
no. Still no.
I turned on an automatic system and it made a few mistakes. It's like,
Exactly.
oh, I guess a
Yeah.
human needs to be in the loop still a little
Yes.
bit. And,
Yes.
and that's part of this. You see how good the AI is. It makes some mistakes, and then you build a system to maybe keep you in the loop a little bit and
Hmm.
train the agent more on what you want. And as it sees how you answer emails, it gets
Yep.
better.
Yeah.
As you tell it off, it gets better, right? And eventually, your goal is to have it just do it, right?
Yeah, it's like a toddler. So literally
Well,
training like that.
it's like the autonomous car. I mean, I've had a Tesla for 8 years, and when I first got the Tesla, it was shitty at driving, right? And now it's better than I am. Is that right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it just keeps getting better and better and better and
yeah,
better and better and better. And this is what AI does, right? It always
yeah.
starts worse than a child. The deep mind system that beat the humans at the game of Go,
Oh yeah, yeah.
right?
I'd go. Yeah.
It, a child could beat it at the beginning when you see the documentary, which is on Netflix or something.
Mm,
And it just keeps getting better and better and better and better until it beats every human,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
The autonomous car races I was at in Abu Dhabi last year. The year before, the AI was 30% slower than a human.
Hmm.
Last year, it beat the human, right? So
Nice.
it just keeps getting better, 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 better.
Yeah.
And
Um,
we're in that place where it's like almost good enough,
yeah,
but it
almost
still
there.
makes some mistakes. So
You know,
it's scary.
I'm I'm curious. Like I have not seen anybody had their open claw do their file their taxes this year. Have you heard anybody try to be that courageous?
No, I've seen a few people try to use various like Claude or OpenAI for their taxes, and it's close. It still made some mistakes. Last year, it made gross mistakes,
Oh
right?
gosh. Okay.
Right. So that I saw several people said, man, it was real close, but I still had to have a CPA check them over or a
Mm-hmm.
tax person check them over, or I had to check them over and found some mistakes it made.
Right.
Last year it made a lot of mistakes. It was pretty unusable. This year it was almost usable. So next year,
Next year,
we
maybe
think
people will
it's
start using. Okay.
yeah, I predict it next year it's going to do everybody's taxes,
Oh my God.
yeah,
Okay. Good
even
to know.
complex ones, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It can do simple, if you make no money, it can do your taxes right now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So from your conversations across the industry,
Yeah.
what do you think is really slowing down the AI adoption right now? Is it the tech, the data,
Hatred,
or just like
ignorance, and
really,
fear.
really? So nothing
And
related to like how the organizations are structured or
oh
if
no,
it's
yes,
it's all mixed
but
in.
that all is expressed through hatred, ignorance, and fear. Even in the, or I mean, I'm working with enterprise and I go to meetings. It's like, I don't want to use AI because of this reason or that reason. It's going to steal all my intellectual property, or it's going to hallucinate and make me look bad, or it's going to steal my job. I don't want to,
Mhm.
I just don't like it. That kind of, resistance. And you hear this, right? In the autonomous car world, I did a lot of consumer research. Same thing. I like to drive. I don't want a computer to drive me around. Why do you need to do that? That's not American, right?
Oh God.
you know, which that's how humans work, right? We're consciousnesses that evolved over, years and we picked up all this knowledge and belief and
Mhm.
meaning to things. And we don't like it when something comes along and takes all that away, and
Yeah.
this is a new
Maybe it's
world.
something about the control. Yeah. I think just
That,
giving up the control,
oh,
it's kind of
it,
hard.
it's believe me, even for me, it's a lot. I
Yeah.
just turned on this automatic system to answer emails, and then I was like, oh my god, I don't like this because I
That
because I like the control because I got
yeah.
used to having. And that was part of my meeting was answering all my emails every morning, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if an AI is going to do that, and then and worse, then AI becomes your boss, right?
Oh God.
Because if it's
Yeah.
answering your email, then the
Yeah.
email calls you and say, "Hey, we got a new client. You got to do things."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Kind of like that.
"Yeah,
So
yeah. Who made this melted sand in my phone?" And my boss. We don't like
that
that.
that actually leads me to my neck. Like the another question popped up. So, like, what's a capability you think that agents should never be given, even if the technology makes it possible?
Um,
Being a boss.
Going to war.
Yes.
I mean, you you still there's places killing somebody else. You still want a human to be accountable, partly because of our legal system. Now,
Hmm.
in 20, 30 years, when this all plays out, maybe we're in a completely different legal system, and silicon or artificial intelligences get rights and get their get to be beings that walk around with us, and they have their own thing and their own legal system. Maybe we're in a different world, and we're moving toward that. But
Hmm.
right now, it's you need accountability for things. Human accountability for legal reasons, for moral reasons, for ethical reasons, right?
Uh-huh.
Just for human reasons, we like to have somebody to blame when something goes wrong. Right?
Yeah, the robot's not gonna
How do
do
you
shit.
blame your phone? If something goes
Yeah.
wrong, how, damn, my phone answered my email badly. It's like,
Yeah.
how do you call that? Hold that accountable? There's no
Exactly.
accountability, right?
Yeah.
So,
That's yeah, that's a
I don't
very
know.
strong point.
I mean, if you talk about the real long term, 50 years,
Mm-hmm.
my kids are going to be in a completely different world than they are today, right?
Yeah.
They're going to be merged with AI and
Mm-hmm.
with digital AI, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
In their head, right? If you have a neural link or something like a neural link that can write to your optic nerve,
Oh
the
man.
computer can change your reality,
Yeah.
and that's coming. We could argue, is it 10 years away or 50 years away? But some people are going to get it this year. Science Corporation has FDA approval to help blind people out by
Oh
jacking a
yeah.
digital reality into
Yeah.
their optic nerve.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the beginning of that, right?
Isn't that Neuralink doing that? That
Neuralink got
yeah.
FDA approval. They'll be starting that up too,
Mm.
with blind people, because there's downsides to this. It's new technology. It's really, really bleeding edge to hook in your mind, and they don't know how to do it
Mm.
completely. They're doing a lot of science, but 50 years from now, it'll be a common thing, right? You'll see a lot of people walk around with some sort of device on their head or embedded in their skull, and that's a
I mean,
scary future for a lot of people. When I tell people, when I tell normal people who aren't into the tech world, they're like, "What? What?"
I mean, yeah,
There's
I
no
can.
way I'm getting one of those. I'm
Yeah,
not going to
yeah.
let Elon Musk control my mind.
Yeah, yeah, it's probably that fear. But I mean, honestly, if these technologies, if the Neuralink chips or any other labs who are working on this, if they can cure these things, I think people should be welcoming that. If it's helping blind people see, like, what more do you want?
This is all. I mean, when cars first came out, people would say, "Oh, my horse is better than a car. That thing's stinky and slow, and it brakes, and my horse doesn't. Well, it might get hurt, right? But it doesn't
Yeah,
break.
yeah.
And all that. And you got to go to a gas station and fill that thing up. I just take my horse over to the side of the road and have it eat some grass. Right?
Yeah,
And we had all those, as humans, we had all those arguments for
yeah,
a
yeah,
decade while we switched from horses to cars, right?
yeah.
And same thing here. Um, I don't know where I'm going with that, but we're we're being hit with exponentially growing waves of change.
Yes,
And
yes.
it's very frightening and disconcerting for everybody. Everybody's worried about their jobs. Everybody's worried about control. Uh, there's a group of people out there. It's going to kill us all. There's an existential risk, which is there. So and then it's just humans are. Most of us are resisting, and then a few of the nerds have open claws running on their Mac Minis and are diving in, right? So.
There is that controversy or that open struggle. It's pretty common. I mean, yeah, I can see it. Why? I kind of understand both sides of where people are coming from, but I mean, I tend to focus more on the goodness, like the advantages of all these technologies making life easier. But yeah, um,
All technology always has a good and a bad.
exactly,
The
exactly.
database was used in the Holocaust, right?
Hmm.
To target Jews. Cars kill 40,000 people in America and 1.2 million people around the world every year die
Yeah,
because of
yeah,
cars. But we all drive. Why? Because it has a good. It has
exactly.
a
Yeah,
benefit to us. It brings utility. It lets us have better life. But it has a bad. It can kill us.
yeah, yeah,
And that's an extraordinary, right? Most people
yeah.
don't think about it. I do because I've studied automotive innovation all my life,
Hmm.
and safety.
Yeah,
And this new technology has huge good and huge bad,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
It's like
Yeah.
it,
It
it could
just
be
depends
used.
like how you're going to use it. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the trick is, keep the bad from happening or keep it from, keep it down.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Be
Minimize
aware of
the
it.
bad and
Yeah.
keep the politicians from using it against their people. And you
Yeah.
see like Iran's very willing to shoot their people, right? And so if they get this technology, they're going to be very willing to use it against their people to control their people. And
I
that's
think yeah, I think that's where like that AI literacy makes a lot of sense because if you are not even ready to know what AI is, how are you going to prevent anything bad that could happen? So I think it's
No,
worth
I'm
learning
using it
about
to
it.
build a new kind of news system so I can see disinformation and I can
Yeah,
have some control over the information
exactly.
that gets to me, right? And
Yeah.
a lot of people have open clause are doing that. Hey, go over to X or go to Reddit or
Yep.
go to the web and build me a news page in the morning that tells me what happened overnight,
Hmm.
or tells me what happened. Tell me about my football team and tell me about my stocks and tell me about, the world news. What's going on in Iran? What is Trump doing? Right.
Yeah,
Um,
lots of different things. Yeah, exactly. I
it's
mean,
better than CNN, but most people are still watching Fox or CNN and thinking that's the news. No,
yeah,
there's a lot more out there, baby.
there's a lot more. Yeah, you gotta scrape through the internet. But yeah,
I built a system that reads 40,000 posts a day just on X,
yep,
and just in the AI community, right?
yep,
And it grabs those, analyzes those, synthesizes them, and writes me a
yep,
page, right? And now I have another system that's doing that for world news and crypto and augmented reality communities, right? And that's just a little tiny little piece of the big
big. Yeah,
database,
yeah,
because on X, Elon gets to see all 300 million posts, right? There's 300 million posts a day just on X and probably 2 billion, 5 billion on Facebook or more, or on Zuckerberg's services, right? So, yeah, you can't read all that, but
yeah,
your AI can
yeah,
if you have money. If you have
yeah.
enough token, because and this is why
Token is
why
the
did
new
your boss buy
currency.
you an open cloud?
Yeah,
Because he knows you're going to want to build a system to
yep,
run your business.
exactly.
And
So.
what are you going to spend $1,000 a day on Anthropic Claude tokens?
Yep. But yeah, this was really great. Thanks so much for your insights. And all my listeners, if you enjoyed this one, which I'm sure you would, make sure to follow the podcast for more such conversations. And I will see you in the next episode. Thank you again, Robert. Thanks for your time.
Thanks.